Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map and I have a surprise video. It's quite late now, so the lighting is a little bit off. The colors can be a little bit off, but I would like to show you the Thomson Leng tarot deck. I scored this deck for less than $1 and I haven't had any idea about it. I didn't know if it's anything important, if it's even worth anything. I just went to a second-hand shop in Poland and I found this deck. It was lying like this and I thought, oh, fortune cards, oh, tarot, that's great. I just grabbed it. I counted that it was 78 cards. Well, 79 actually, because it's got one extra card, and I just bought it because it was so cheap. I thought, like, I don't know what it is, but I check it out. So the box is a little bit battered. Didn't have the top of it, but other than that, the cards are quite amazing. So when I saw the little white book, it says copyright 1935, but of course I wasn't sure if it's truly that old. I got excited. This is the card, the additional card with a little like prayer or, you know, like a little saying. And these are the backs of the cards. So I know that this is original because there was also some replicas of this deck done. And even those replicas sell quite expensive. But this deck is quite fascinating. It was published in 1935 by Thomson Leng publisher, and it was produced as a deck that was given away to the readers of my weekly magazine. It was like a woman's magazine. It's kind of like Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's got quite a few interesting differences. And I just want to show you how that goes. It's not in... It's a little bit out of order because I've been playing with it. But, for example, take a look at Four of Swords. And I just want to show you also what the little white book says. So Four of Swords, we see four men waging war with each other with swords. Although a symbol of strife, this card is really a lucky omen for you, indicating that someone is thinking dearly of you and planning for you. If it lies upside down, however, you may be faced with worries which will happily be of short duration. So I was fascinated how different the meanings of the cards were. So take a look. Four of Swords, we usually have the, you know, rest and lack of movement. Three of Swords, no heart, no stabbed heart, but Three of Swords also says that swords are held by three youths standing on a flat rock in the middle of the ocean. For the questioner, this is not too happy an omen. You will be disillusioned about someone you believe in. When placed upside down, the card shows that you will hear about a broken romance. So, you know, the meaning of the card is similar, but it's fascinating that it's shown a totally different way. Two of Swords is also quite wonderful. Look, the one sword goes into the water and the other goes up into the air. So we can guess that maybe she doesn't know what to do, or she's checking her ground, she's checking her emotions, and she's checking her thoughts. So in a way there is this duality shown, but again, quite fascinating that it's different. Look at the Knight of Swords. It's so different. It's going through the emotions, but maybe the clarity will come from this sword, which is lifted up above the water, and the knight is making its way through this emotional water. Five of Cups with the little owl. And it's funny because the little white book just says something like it's a cup, it's a happy card. It says a dark cloaked woman in general, it's not a man, looking sideways at three cups lying upset on the ground. Behind her are 2 more cups and trees on which an owl is perched. You are extremely lucky if you draw this card, which signifies that you will come into either money or property. Upside down, it's equally lucky, especially for a girl, since it foretells a brilliant marriage. So nothing to do with, you know, grief and breakup and, I don't know, wanting the past to come back and so on and so forth. So no. Look at the lovers, very Marseille. Full, it's hilarious. Look at this like dinosaur wanting to, and look at the number, it's 21. So it comes after Judgment and before the World. And at some point when I was learning about Marseille decks, I read somewhere that they used to place full after Judgment and between the World. 10 of Swords with the vampire, it says in the little white book, where it's like a bat. Quite interesting. Rods are quite different, like pippish, with a little illustrations. So different to Rider-Waite-Smith. Hangman similar. The Sun again quite Marseille, and there's no nudity in this deck. So everyone is kind of dressed up. 8 of Cups, little bit different too. 6 of Swords, I quite like it. So he moves, but he leaves some swords here and he has some swords here. So there is still this movement. In the little white book there's also the movement overseas and so on. Ace of Swords, just go faster. So here the people are dressed as well in the Devil. King of Cups, Death. The colors are quite bright and vivid. I can't believe this is like 82-year-old deck. Rods, as you can see, are much more pippish. 6 of Rods. Empress. No Venus or anything like this, but an eagle. Strength is 11, so again, different to Rider-Waite-Smith. So it's a fascinating mixture. 10 of Rods again. The rod cards remind me of Nigel Jackson Tarot. It's this Pythagorean geometry that he's using here. 8 of Swords is also interesting because the booklet says a woman chained with 8 swords stuck in the ground around and before her. It's a symbol not of unending bondage, but rather of endurance. It means a big change in your life, which at first you may not like, but it will be best for you in the end. In an upside down position, it means unrest and difficulties for some little time. So that's interesting. Page of Rods facing the other direction. Judgment, dressed people. 8 of Rods, hot, hot, hot. 6 of Cups, similar. Page of Swords, quite funny. Justice 8, like in Marseille decks. 9 of Swords, kind of jail. Ace of Cups, little bit like in Marseille with the, you know, holy city of Jerusalem maybe. Queen of Swords, so happy and pretty kind of. Emperor. The World. 9 of Rods. So yeah, the rods are different, very different to Rider-Waite-Smith. Tower. Ace of Rods, I like it. Give me, give me. The Moon, beautiful. Ace of Pens, and I don't know if I mentioned, I didn't, I think, but yeah, the pentacles are pens. And also the little booklet says that each prize 2 pens. That's so funny, I love it. I just can't believe I scored this deck. It's like even to hold a deck like this in your hands, it's quite fascinating. And to compare, you know, the meanings that were used in 1935. Look at the Wheel of Fortune, all the elements here. Knight of Pens. Looks funny. 8 of Pens. Temperance, quite beautiful. High Priestess, it's Great Priestess. Magician. Queen of Cups. 3 of Cups. So lots of similarities. Star is also dressed, so totally no nudity. maybe 1935. They didn't quite enjoy the naked body so much, I'm not sure. 9 of Pens, quite beautiful too. 5 of Swords, totally different. No two men behind the guy. 2 of Cups. 10 Pens. King of Pens. Great Priest for the Hierophant. 7 Swords, looks quite kind of much evil in a way than the Rider-Waite-Smith. King of Swords. 5 Pens. Queen of Rods. And 7 of Rods. So this is the whole deck. The cards, as you can see, are quite small actually. Do I have a regular? Just let me get the regular deck. This is Circle Tarot, which is like a regular Rider-Waite-Smith, and as you can see, this is totally much smaller, like playing cards. It's smaller than Tarot of the Crown for those who have Tarot of the Crown, and that's how it looks. So look how these cards look amazing. So this is the box here, tarot cards, British manufacturer, and I checked, this is the original, the copyrights are right, and here I wanted to show you the Mystics 7, so you can maybe stop it and take a screenshot if you want to find out more about this spread. And there is something like this, the Royal Road of Life. I haven't really looked through it properly yet, I just got it yesterday. And the Eastern Cross method. So you can check it out as well. And I am just doing this review, or not review, just like this walkthrough very quickly, because I'm off to Thailand tomorrow and I'm not taking this deck with me, obviously. So I just wanted to show you, so you don't have to wait a month to know what that is. And you can just see it shuffles quite well. And it's this, you know, like paper cards, but look how long, it's 82 years. It's fascinating. And when we spread them, they look quite cool. Nice story. So anyway, this is Thomson Leng Tarot, and I'm scored it in a second-hand shop, and I find myself being a very, very lucky biatch. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it and that you can rejoice with me for this pearl in my collection right now. Thanks guys, and I'll speak to you soon from Thailand. Bye!